November the 24th. Mr. Henshaw, here we go again. 4th. Where do you live? After the divorce, Mom and I moved from Bakersfield to Pacific Grove, which is on California's central coast, about 20 miles from the sugar refinery at Spreckles, where Dad used to haul sugar beets before he went cross-country. Mom said all the time she was growing up in California's Great Central Valley, she longed for a few ocean breezes. And now we've got them. We've got a lot of fog, especially in the morning. There aren't any crops around here, just golf courses for rich people. We live in a little house, a really little house, that used to be somebody's summer cottage a long time ago, before somebody built a 2-story duplex in front of it. Now it is what they call a garden cottage. It is sort of falling apart, but it is all we can afford. Mom says at least it keeps the rain off, and it can be hauled away on a flatbed truck. I have a room of my own, but Mom sleeps on a couch in the living room. She fixed the place up real nice with things from the thrift shop down the street. Next door is a gas station that goes ping, 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 ping every time a car drives in. They turn off the pinger at 10 p.m., but most of the time I am asleep by then. Mom doesn't want me to hang around the gas station. On our street, besides the thrift shop, there is a pet shop, a sewing machine shop, an electric shop, a couple of junk stores they call antique shops, plus a Taco King and a safety freeze. I am not supposed to hang around those places either. Mom is against hanging around any place. Sometimes when the gas station isn't pinging, I can hear the ocean and the sea lions barking. They sound like dogs, and I think I've banned it. To be continued unless we get the TV fixed. Still disgusted. Leibot. November 26th. Mr. Henshaw, if our TV was fixed, I would be looking at Highway Patrol. But it isn't so. Here are some more answers from my rotten brain. Haha. 5th. Do you have any pets? I do not have any pets. My teacher says always answer questions in complete sentences. When Mom and Dad got divorced and Mom got me, Dad took Bandit because Mom said that she couldn't work and look after a dog. And Dad said he likes to take Bandit in his truck because it is easier to stay awake on long hauls if he has him to talk to. I really miss Bandit, but I guess he's happier riding around with Dad. Like the father said in Ways to Amuse a Dog, dogs get pretty bored just lying around the house all day. That is what Bandit would have to do with Mom and me gone so much. Bandit likes to ride. That's how we got him. He just jumped into Dad's cab at a truck stop in Nevada and sat there. He had a red bandana around his neck instead of a collar, so we called him Bandit. Sometimes I lie awake at night listening to the gas station pinging and thinking about Dad and Bandit hauling tomatoes or cotton bales on Interstate 5, and I'm glad a Bandit is there to keep Dad awake. Have you ever seen Interstate 5? At a street and boring with nothing much but cotton fields and a big feedlot that you can smell a long way before you come to it. It's sobering that the cattle on the feedlot don't even bother to moo. They just stand there. They don't tell you that part in school when they talk about California's Great Central Valley. I'm getting writer's cramp from all this writing. I'll get to number 6 next time. Mom says not to worry about the postage, so I can use that as an excuse for not answering. Poop to writer. Leibot. November the 27th. Mr. Henshaw, here we go again. I'll never write another list of questions for an author to answer, no matter what the teacher says. 6th, do you like school? School is okay, I guess. That's where the kids are. The best thing about 6th grade in my new school is that if I hang in, I'll get out. 7th, who are your friends? I don't have a whole lot of friends in my new school. Mom says maybe I'm a loner, but I don't know. A new boy in school has to be pretty cautious until he gets to know who's who. Maybe I'm just a boy nobody pays much attention to. The only time anybody paid much attention to me was in my last school when I gave the book report on ways to amuse your dog. After my report, some people went to the library to get the book. The kids here pay more attention to my lunch than they do to me. They really watch to see what I have in my lunch because Katie gives me such good things. I wish somebody would ask me over sometime. After school, I stay around kicking a soccer ball with some of the other kids so they won't think I am stuck up or anything, but nobody asks me over. 8th, who is your favorite teacher? I don't have a favorite teacher, but I really like Mr. Friedel. He's the custodian. He's always fair about who gets to pass out milk at lunchtime, and once when he had to clean up after someone who threw up in the hole, he didn't even look cross. He just said, looks like somebody's been whooping it up, and started sprinkling sawdust around it. Mom used to get mad at that for whooping it up, but she didn't mean throwing up. She meant he stayed too long at that truck stop outside of town. 2 more questions to go. Maybe I won't answer them. So there. Haha. Leavots. December 1st. Mr. Henshaw, okay, you win because Mom is still nagging me and I don't have anything else to do. I'll answer your last 2 questions if it takes all night. 9th. What bothers you? What bothers me about what? I don't know what you mean. I guess I'm bothered by a lot of things. I'm bothered when someone steals something out of my lunch bag. I don't know enough about the people in the school to know who to suspect. I'm bothered about little kids with runny noses. I don't mean I am fussy or anything like that. I don't know why. I'm just bothered. I'm bothered about walking to school slow. The rule is nobody is supposed to be on the school grounds until 10 minutes before the first bell rings. Mom has an early class. The house is so lonely in the morning when she's gone that I can't stand it and leave when she does. I don't mind being alone after school, but I do in the morning before the fog lifts and our cottage seems dark and damp. Mom tells me to go to school but to walk slow, which is hard work. Once I tried walking around every square in the sidewalk, but that got boring. So did walking heel-toe. Sometimes I walk backwards except when I cross the street, but I still get there so early I have to sort of hide behind the shrubbery so Mr. Friedel won't see me. I'm bothered when my dad telephones me and finishes by saying, well, keep your nose clean, kid. Why can't he say he misses me and why can't he call me Lee? I am bothered when he doesn't phone at all, which is most of the time. I have a book of road maps and try to follow his trips when I hear from him. When the TV worked, I watched the weather on the news so I would know if he's driving through blizzards, tornadoes, hail like golf balls, or any of the fancy weather that have other places in the U.S. 10th. What do you wish? I wish somebody would stop stealing the good stuff out of my lunch bag. I guess I wish a lot of other things too. I wish someday Daddy and Bandit would pull up in front in the rig. Maybe Dad would be hauling a 40-foot reefer. That means a refrigerated trailer, which would make his outfit add up to 18 wheels together. Dad would yell out of the cab, "Come on, Lee, hop in and I'll give you a lift to school." Then I'd climb in and Bandit would wag his tail and lick my face. We'd take off with all the men in the gas station staring after us. Instead of going straight to school, we'd go barreling along the freeway looking down on the tops of ordinary cars, then down the off-ramp and back to school just before the bell rang. I guess I wouldn't seem too medium then, sitting up there in the cab in front of a 40-foot river. I'd jump out, and Dad would say, "So long, Lee, be seeing you," and Bandit would give a little bark like goodbye. I'd say, "Drive carefully, Dad," like I always do. Dad would take a minute to write in the truck's logbook. "Drove my son to school." Then the truck would pull away from the curb with all the kids staring and wishing their dads drove big trucks too. There, Mr. Henshaw, that's the end of your crummy questions. I hope you are satisfied for making me do all this extra work. Phooey on you, Libot. December 4th. Dear Mr. Henshaw, I am sorry I was rude in my last letter when I finished answering your questions. Maybe I was mad about other things like that, forgetting to send this month's support payment. Mom tried to phone him at the trailer park, where, as Mom says, he hangs his hat. He has his own phone in his trailer, so the broker who lines up jobs for him can reach him. I wish he still hauled the sugar beets over to the refinery in Spreckles, so he might come to see me. The judge in the divorce said he has a right to see me. When you answered my questions, you said the way to get to be an author was to write. You underlined it twice. Well, I sure did a lot of writing, and you know what? Now that I think about it, it wasn't so bad when it wasn't for a book report or a report on some country in South America or anything where I had to look things up in the library. I even sort of miss writing now that I've finished your questions. I get lonesome. Mom is working overtime at catering by Katie because people give a lot of parties this time of year. When I write a book, maybe I'll call it The Great Lunchbag Mystery, because I have a lot of trouble with my lunchbag. Mom isn't so great on cooking roasts and steaks now that Daddy's gone. But she makes me good lunches with sandwiches on whole wheat bread from the health food store with good filling spread all the way to the corners. Katie sends me little cheesecakes baked just for me or stuffed mushrooms and little things she calls canapes. Sometimes I get a slice of quiche. Today I was supposed to have a deviled egg. Katie buys the smallest eggs for parties so half an egg can be eaten in one bite and one spill on people's carpets. She puts a little curry powder in with the mashed up yolk, which she squirts out of a tube so it looks like a rose. At lunchtime, when I opened my lunch bag, my egg was gone. We leave our lunch bags and boxes, mostly bags, because no sixth grader wants to carry a lunchbox, lined up along the wall under our coat hooks, at the back of the classroom behind a sort of partition. Are you writing another book? Please answer my letters so we can be pen pals. Still your number one fan, Libot. December 12th. Dear Mr. Henshaw, I was supposed to get your postcard from Wyoming because I thought you lived in Alaska. Don't worry, I get the message. You don't have a lot of time for answering letters. That's okay with me because I'm glad you are busy writing a book and chopping wood to keep warm. Something nice happened today when I was hanging around behind the bushes at school. waiting for the 10 minutes to come before the first bell rings. I was watching Mr. Friedel raise the flags. Maybe I better explain that the state flag of California is white with a brown bear in the middle. First, Mr. Friedel fastened the U.S. flag on the halyard. That's a new word in my vocabulary. And then fasten the California flag below it. When you pull the flags to the top of the flagpole, the bear was upside down with his feet in the air. I said, "Hey, Mr. Friedel, the bear is upside down. This is a new paragraph because Miss Martinez says there should be a new paragraph when a different person speaks." Mr. Friedel said, "Well, so it is. How would you like to turn him right side up?" So I got to pull the flags down, turn the bear flag the right way, and raise both flags again. Mr. Friedel said maybe I should come to school a few minutes early every morning to help him with the flags, but please stop walking backwards because it made him nervous. So now I don't have to walk quite so slow. It was nice to have somebody notice me. Nobody stole anything from my lunch today because I ate it on the way to school. I've been thinking about what you said on your postcard about keeping a diary. Maybe I'll try it. Sincerely, Libot. December 13th. Dear Mr. Henshaw, I bought a composition book like you said. It is yellow with a spider binding. On the front I printed Diary of Lee Marcus Butts, private, keep out. This means you. When I started to write in it, I didn't know how to begin. I felt as if I should write, Dear Composition Book. But that sounds dumb. So does Dear Piece of Paper. The first passage still looks the way I feel, blank. I don't think I can keep a diary. I don't want to be a nuisance to you, but I wish you could tell me how. I am stuck. Puzzled reader, Lee Bott. December 21st. Dear Mr. Henshaw, I got your postcard with a picture of the bears. Maybe I'll do what you said and pretend my diary is a letter to somebody. I suppose I could pretend to write to Dad, but I used to write to him and he never answered. Maybe I'll pretend I am writing to you because when I answered all your questions, I got the habit of beginning. Dear Mr. Henshaw, don't worry, I won't send it to you. Thanks for the tip. I know you're busy. Your grateful friend, Lee Fox. Private Diary of Lee Bott. Friday, December 22nd. Dear Mr. Pretend Henshaw, this is a diary. I'll keep it, not married. If I eat my lunch on the way to school, I get hungry in the afternoon. Today I didn't sew the 2 stuffed mushrooms Mom packed in my lunch were gone at lunch period. My sandwich was still there, so I didn't starve to death, but I sure missed those mushrooms. I can't complain to the teacher because it isn't a good idea for a new boy in school to be a snitch. All morning I tried to keep track of who leaves his seat to go behind the partition where we keep our lunches, and I watched to see who leaves the room last at recess. I haven't caught anybody chewing, but Miss Martinez is always telling me to face the front of the room. Anyway, the classroom door is usually open. Anybody could sneak in if we were all facing front and Miss Martinez was writing on the blackboard. Hey, I just had an idea. Some others write on their made-up names. After Christmas vacation, I write a fictitious name on my lunch bag. That will fool the thief, as they say in books. I guess I don't have to sign my name to a diary letter the way I sign a real letter that I would mail. Saturday, December 23rd. Dear Mr. Henshaw, Dear Mr. Pretend Henshaw, this is the first day of Christmas vacation. Still no package from Dad. I thought maybe he was bringing me a present instead of mailing it. So I asked Mom if she thought he might come to see us for Christmas. She said, "We are divorced, remember?" I remember, right. I remember all the time.